I am your host, Danielle Mims. Welcome to Think Like a Kid, the podcast that helps parents and teachers stop guessing and start teaching the way kids actually learn. After working with hundreds of kids, I can promise you this: one-size-fits-all learning doesn't work. It's time to stop making kids fit the system and start shaping learning around the child. Each week, you'll get quick wins, creative ideas, and brain-based strategies to make learning hands-on and fun again. So whether you're in the classroom, the car, or halfway through your coffee, I am so glad you're here. Let's think like a kid.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Think Like a Kid. It is summer here, and it is feeling great to just kind of relax on the whole busy schedules, even though my kids are in sports too right now, which is wild. It's like sports or birthday parties like every other day. But I wanted to talk to you about something that first I saw this Instagram reel pop up and I was like cracking up. And I'm like, I got to share that with you guys. And then a trap that most of us parents kind of fall into and how to kind of avoid that. So I was watching this Instagram reel and I can't think of the handle. I wish I saved it so I could, tag them or something like that. But it was talking about like kids nowadays on a road trip. And then it was us, right? Millennials on a road trip. So the modern day aged kid was going on a road trip and the mom was there was like 3 iPads set up and then here's the phone. And then they were like jokingly like pulling in a flat screen TV. And then it flashed back to like 90s kids and how I was cracking up. We were watching like the window and like there was 2 little drops and they were like racing and we were just like, go, go, go. And that's how we grew up. Like that was entertainment for us, like watching 2 little water droplets race each other. And somewhere along the way of technology and everything, like things have shifted. And a lot of the times we hear kids say, I'm bored or, just frustrated with nothing to do. And it's hard when we have these schedules and we have these opportunities for our kids and they were just in school or, clubs or something like that. And we have this feeling like we are the ones responsible for their entertainment. We have to be their 24/7 cruise director. And so today, I want to tell you that that feeling is very valuable. No, it's very valid. What's valuable to learn is that this is a skill that we are born with curiosity and desiring independence, but it does get, if it's not practiced and it's not explicitly taught, this independent play, the skill, this desire of wanting to come up with ideas and do things on your own, that can get left in the background and it can happen quickly. And kids to start looking at adults as like, okay, what's next? Like, what do I need? Like they need this extra hit of dopamine instead of trying to figure it out on their own because that's a lot harder. It's all real. It's all things that are happening every single day. So I don't want you to think that there's anything wrong with you or your child. I just want to let you know that this is normal. And we look at social media and we think we're not doing enough. We look at, you know, all these water parks and all these excursions and all these things that we can do with our kids and all these sensory bins and signing up our kids for camps and museum trips. And we just feel almost like we're not doing enough if our kids bored or if they're just sitting at home. So I want to tell you that there is some serious, serious power in boredom. Like if we have a busy week, I plan for it. It is so important to have a kid get bored and be uncomfortable with it. And I want to challenge you, especially if you've kind of been on like the go, go, go and like helping your kid figure out ideas on what to do. I want to kind of like challenge you to just do absolutely nothing with your kid and see what happens because that's actually developing their brain this summer. And it gives them a whole sense of power and confidence to create their own form of happiness and activities. So when a kid says, I'm bored to you, our instinct is, okay, well, I got to fix this, right? So maybe you should do this or try this. Why don't you go ask blah, blah, blah. We organize a game or we Maybe in all honesty, maybe someone's working from home and they're just like, here, just take the iPad just to fix it quickly because you have stuff to do. But when we step in and we solve the boredom problem for them, we're accidentally robbing them of a massive opportunity. It's like a massive brain workout, if you will. So, in early childhood, boredom is the catalyst for three major brain functions. So, I've talked about a little bit creativity. When there's nothing to do, your brain's default mode network turns on, and this is where original ideas are born. I keep thinking of the reels that I scroll on at night when I should be sleeping. And what we used to do when we'd go outside, we'd come up with these crazy activities or these crazy dramas of us in the woods and running away and doing all these weird stuff. And that doesn't happen anymore. Right. But that's why we kind of have to force it because kids now they have everything at their fingertips and it's not good. A cardboard box should be able to bring excitement to your child. It could become a spaceship. It could be a boat, endless possibilities. And it's not your job to come up with that either. Another brain function that this boredom power helps is problem solving. So when a child is forced to be bored, they have to look at their environment. They have to say, what can I do with what I have? Think about you and me on a road trip. We're 90s babies. And we're looking out the window and we see two raindrops. That's all we had to work with. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just so funny because it's so true. We were like, okay, we will play a game with these raindrops and we will have a race with these raindrops because that's all we have. Same thing happens with a kid. So critical thinking in its purest form is boredom. The next brain function that's huge is executive functioning. So I like to explain executive functioning as your brain's manager, their management system. So that's self-direction and emotional regulation. And when a child has to tolerate and be okay in the uncomfortable feeling of being bored and they have to figure a way out of it, they're building mental muscles that they need in life, like focus, plan, executing tasks later on in life. This is all necessary for child development. And I get we're busy and I get it's easier to just hand them an iPad, but these are necessary every single day. So we're kind of in this trap of constant entertainment. So when we do that, their brains are the ones that are actually suffering because they become passive consumers. So you're teaching them to learn to wait for external stimulus to entertain them. And when that is a fast paced screen, their dopamine receptors get hijacked. So, real life, like playing in the dirt or the backyard or drawing with chalk in the driveway, can't compete with the flashing lights of a tablet. So, when their tablet turns off, the boredom feels painful. And that's when you might see a kid flip their lid and have a meltdown because nothing else can compete with that. But by allowing them and setting out time for them to be bored, you're teaching them. It's uncomfortable, especially the first couple times you do it. It's painful for you too to watch, but you're teaching them how to motivate themselves from the inside out. So, how to respond without an iPad. I know it's like a thing that we're doing, and sometimes when we're working from home, it's a hot Tuesday and we just need to entertain them, but you shouldn't be handing them the iPad. It's a beautiful day out. Don't get mad. Just acknowledge and validate their feelings, right? You don't have to, you're their parent, you're not their friend. You don't have to get mad at them. You can just validate and say, oh, okay, so the feeling you're experiencing right now, that's boredom. And it feels very uncomfortable when you don't know what to do next. I understand. And then 2, setting the boundary. So, something I say to my kids, if they're just like, I don't know what to do, what should I do? I go, that's not my job. My job is not to entertain you. And I straight up say that to my kids. And my job's to, do things like, and I mean, granted, I have other episodes on one-on-one quality time that is so, so, so important. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like throughout the day, letting them dictate their play and not giving them an iPad just because it's going to make life a little bit easier. So, something I also say, like, I can't wait to hear what your creative brain comes up with. I can't wait to play the game that you made up later or design. We have a maker space in our house, we have our steam room. But in the summer, I like to encourage them to be out and they love being outside. And, we have a garage filled of stuff that we don't need. My husband tells me that every day, and I agree. And most of the time that I see my kids playing the most is with sticks and rocks and dirt and bugs, right? That's kind of what draws them and leads them into endless play. So, step 3, if it's a big, big struggle, something that you can do, a quick takeaway is create a boredom jar or a menu for them to choose from. So, it's not like you're like, hey, why don't you go do some chalk? And they're just like, no. Oh, okay. Why don't you go ride your bike? No. And it's just like back and forth. So to eliminate that back and forth, you could do a boredom jar where you write things or you have like little pictures and you put it in a jar and they can just go pick one if they're really, really, really stuck. So you could say, like, your verbiage could just be like, your brain's having a really hard time thinking of an idea. You can pick 2 things out of the boredom jar and you get to pick which one you're going to do. And then the hardest part is the next step, which is walk away. Like, you can tolerate the whining for 5 or 10 minutes, but I promise you, I can almost promise you, because I don't know every kid's different, but I can promise you about 99% of the time, if you don't give in, they will find something to do. They will start playing. And this has happened to me before where it was in the winter and I was nursing a baby and I could not play with my toddler and they were whining and I had the boredom jar and it wasn't working. And I was like, look, this is not my job. Mommy already played with you for 15 minutes. Right now, you need to find something to play with. And in the crying and in the whining, he played with a vent for like 20 minutes. And that's fine. Still independent play. And if you actually want to know how to teach your kid how to independently play, I can link my independent play guide down below for you. It's exactly what I do, as even starting with babies, because this is a skill that they need. And it's a skill I'm not letting my kids ever forget how to do because it's crucial. And there's so many kids that I've seen in the classroom who don't even have the skill of independent play. So anyway, my closing thoughts is for this summer, I want you to give yourself permission to lower the bar. You don't need to be the circus ringmaster. Your job is to create a safe environment. We could do a 90s summer, right? Give them some open-ended materials, give them love, give them lots of rest and hydration. Let them be bored and watch what happens. Your child is brilliant. I can tell you this. I've never met a child that I have not seen just such unique brilliance in talking to them. Like they're so capable and filled with such amazing, unique abilities. And I just want to say thank you for listening to this. I'm having so much fun with the podcast. You guys are great. And even if you just feel like you could take away one little part of this, that just brings me so much joy. So I hope you have a fabulous week. I hope you let your child be bored and keep thinking like a kid, friend.